In 1973, a peculiar and unsettling event took place aboard Eastern Airlines Flight 318. The vice president of Eastern Airlines was traveling on this very flight. It seemed like just another routine journey until something out of the ordinary happened. While the plane cruised in the air, the vice president noticed something unusual. The captain of the flight was sitting right next to him. At first, they had a pleasant conversation, casual chatter about nothing in particular. But then, it struck him, a chilling thought. If the captain is sitting here next to me, then who is flying the plane? He quickly glanced around, trying to make sense of the situation. But when he turned to look at the person sitting beside him, his heart skipped a beat. The person wasn't just any captain. He recognized him. It was Captain Robert Alvin Loft, the captain of the infamous Flight 401. But there was something that made this even more impossible. Captain Loft had died over a year ago in a horrific crash. Flight 401, the plane he was on, had crashed, killing him and 96 others. So how was he here, sitting next to him on Flight 318, more than a year later? The answer to that question goes back to December 29, 1972. On that night, Eastern Airlines Flight 401 took off from New York, carrying 163 passengers and a highly experienced crew. Captain Loft had over 29,000 hours of flying time. It was supposed to be just another routine flight. But as they approached Miami, disaster struck. As the plane prepared to land, something went terribly wrong. The indicator light for the nose gear wasn't lighting up, leaving the pilots unable to confirm if the landing gear was properly deployed. In moments like this, the smallest issue can be catastrophic. And so, the crew decided to hold the plane at 2,000 feet, calling the flight engineer for assistance. The engineer checked everything, but the light still wouldn't turn on. No matter what they tried, they couldn't fix it. The landing gear was still a mystery. The decision was made. The plane would remain in holding patterns, circling above the airport, waiting. But in a cruel twist of fate, the plane started descending on its own. The pilots didn't notice at first. By the time they realized, the plane was only 900 feet above the ground. Captain Loft, in an attempt to correct their descent, began a 180-degree turn, but it was too late. The plane crashed into a swamp, killing Captain Loft and 96 passengers instantly. However, 75 people managed to survive, though the impact of the tragedy would haunt many forever. But then, something strange happened. The wreckage of Flight 401 was salvaged, and some of its parts were used to repair another aircraft, Flight 318. And that's when the ghostly events began. Flight 318's crew began reporting sightings of Captain Loft, and even the other crew members who had died in the crash. These spectral figures weren't just lingering, they were actively warning the crew of impending danger. In one instance, a ghostly engineer named Louis appeared and warned that there was a risk of a fire on board. Upon checking, they found the threat was real. This wasn't a one-time event. The spirits of Flight 401 would appear again and again, warning of danger and saving lives. It was as if they had a duty to ensure the safety of Flight 318. But no one could explain how this was happening. Were these ghostly apparitions? Was it some kind of supernatural force? The unexplained events became known as the Flight 401 ghost mystery, a chilling story that no one could truly solve. In 1978, a movie was made about this unsettling event. But even today, many years later, the mystery of Flight 401 remains unsolved.